Welcome to the FTK Moms Podcast, where real moms share real stories with real love. No filters, no fluff, just unfiltered truth, big laughs, and a little therapy between friends.
Because sometimes the only thing holding us together is a good story and a group chat full of moms who get it. So girl, grab a drink,
hide from your kids,
and let's talk about the shit no one else will.
Hey!
My kid did activities 6 days a week after school. I was the PTA president. I coached my son's soccer team. I did all the things. And then I was like, fuck this, I'm not doing it anymore. You're not doing any activities.
Yeah. Take breaks.
Yeah.
And breaks are so important.
Yeah.
I think, I'm guilty.
We're the same, right? Yeah. I hear a lot of that.
Children,
I know. I'm very type A, you know.
I corporate job, have an event company on the side, my side business, was the booster club PTA mom at Bowie volleyball at one point.
Yeah.
All the things, and I'm like, enough's enough.
Yeah.
Have to let me
You get tired. Yeah.
You get tired.
Yeah.
We do so much.
Yes.
Moms, what are we doing?
I know. By the way, I cuss a lot.
That's okay.
I know you do, Winter. I hear you
Thank
say
you.
the F-bomb a lot. I don't think I've ever heard you, Alicia, say
I've
it.
said it a few times.
Okay. Well, I naturally gravitate to when she says it because she says it a lot. So I apologize in advance.
Be yourself.
I won't say the C word, but I will.
So, on that note, welcome
Well,
to FTK Moms, where we say fuck a lot.
where we say fuck the
100%.
kids and, all the things.
For them kids, forgive them kids, and we are really excited that we've survived Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yep, this is right after, what a week. It's always a week with holidays, but we're excited to have our guest Stephanie with us. Thanks for joining.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And I'm so excited because Stephanie, you're a true, you've listened to our podcast, which means a lot to us because we really don't know what we're doing, and we're out here just hanging it out every week, talking, all that mess about our kids. And but it's excited to have you, and we've never met you, so we're excited to hear your story and your journey.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. We love to kick off with an FTK moment of the week, whether it's a mom fail or success. I think you have one to share, right?
Yeah, but y'all go first.
Oh, no.
Somebody go first. You don't have one?
I always have one, but I got a fresh one right now, and it's too raw to even emotionally talk about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you got to gear yourself up for it.
Yeah, that one's I need to process.
Okay, so I have an 8-year-old. My son, he's my only kid. I'm a helicopter mom, first of all, so I keep my eye on him all the time because I always tell my husband, I only have one, so I can't lose him, you know?
Yeah.
So we're actually out with our little mom tribe and all their kids. Actually, your friend Leanne is one of my friends, so she was out with us. And we went to this bar that Leanne recommended, and it was pitch. It was so dark there. And all the kids are running around, and my kid's wearing Crocs, and he decides to climb this big oak tree. And, of course, he slips, and he hits his face on the tree. And he comes running over to me, and he's upset. And I'm like, you okay? He's like, I hit my chin. I was like, okay, looks good. Your teeth aren't bleeding. They're all there. Cool. Yeah. So the next morning he wakes up, and he's like, Mom, is this an adult tooth? And I'm like, yeah, why? He's like, it's loose. I'm like, wow, okay. So I start Googling, and they're like, if your adult tooth is loose and there's pain, you have to get seen immediately because the tooth can die. And obviously if your tooth dies or falls out, you don't get another one.
Yep. All the things.
So I call up his dentist, and they're like, yep, come on in. It's a Saturday.
Oh.
So I have to pay, a lot extra to have him come in on a Saturday and take some x-rays. And he's like, oh, he's going to be fine. It is loose, but it'll heal in about a week. It'll tighten back up, and he has to eat soft foods, for a week, which he did, which he does anyway. But I'm like, dude, I just want to keep you in a bubble, and he's so clumsy. My husband is so clumsy. And so he's like, his name is Hudson, my son. I call him a little Patrick. I call him little Patrick because he's just like my husband, super clumsy. And,
Yeah, it never ends.
No.
I think we've had multiple ER visits. And maybe it's a boy thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Because the girl, Nyla, we haven't.
Yeah, I haven't had hardly ever, except for I talked about Linnea breaking her arm when she was 3, but that was really it. No. I mean, but my kids are hypochondriacs. So anytime they think they're like, I have a little, Kyla's when she was playing volleyball, oh, I feel like my shoulder, I think it's broken. I'm like, girl, you wouldn't be able to do this if your shoulder was broken. So yeah, they're hypochondriacs where they think that they're really sick, and then we go and I spend money unnecessarily, and then they're like, oh, they're fine. You just need to stretch more. You just need to. So yeah, they're not like super rough falling and doing things. Just
we've done all the things. So when you sent the tooth thing through Instagram, I was like, oh girl, I feel you. So I think it was last summer. So Eli, y'all, if you've listened, you know my journey. He's a lot. He's been a lot. The dentist was a whole thing. Like Dr. Matt at Beauty Kids Teeth should be my savior. We have trauma bonded with Eli and the dentist. But Eli's teeth were the only thing that I knew I was going to have braces, and they're straight, and they came in, and the adult teeth are pretty. And we were playing at the pool, and one of his friends shoved his head, and he hit the side of the pool.
Ow.
And the tooth cracked in half.
Oh no.
And all I could think was like, it was the one fucking thing I was like, I have to deal with.
Yeah.
And it was right below the root. I called Dr. Matt's office. It was this weekend, of course, right?
Always.
But the guy was like, he had me sending pictures, but also the friend's dad who in the pool had the accident works at a dentist's office. And he was like, hey, my dentist can get him in Monday at 6 a.m. Let me see his tooth. So we went in at 6 a.m. on a Monday.
Wow.
And I didn't even, my fear wasn't even like, okay, Eli had only been to Dr. Matt. And we had been there for like 6 years to a point where we could get him in a chair. And when I tell you, like, the dentist was awful because he was a sensory kid, I would have to hold him down just to try to get him into his mouth. And then if there was and he would eat rocks. So as a kid, he would chew on rocks. So we had holes in our teeth all the time. So we constantly were being put with anesthesia and doing the whole procedure because he wouldn't let anybody touch his mouth. Dr. Matt now, they can go in, he sits down, he's like a normal human being, and we can do a dip. I'm like, I don't know how he'll do with somebody else who hasn't ever worked on him, but he did fine. We have a nice little half a built out tooth, and at some point when he turns 18, we'll have to do a whole like fake veneer in there. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't. Yeah, but it never ends. So I completely like the teeth. The things, what else? Oh, Eli swallowed glass one time. Or he said he swallowed glass. I couldn't tell you. I just know it was a Saturday, and I was like, I feel like I have to go to the ER because I don't know if it's true. So after all the x-rays, there was no glass in the stomach. But he said, I swallowed glass. And I had to believe the kid that chews rocks.
Yeah. You're like, I don't know.
I don't know. And if I don't go and your stomach is cut and you die, then I'm the mom that didn't take you.
Exactly.
Those kids.
Yeah. So many things.
Yeah, Stephanie, girl at those teeth and those boys, so I get it. Mine's clumsy too. So tell us a little bit more about you. Do your quick intro.
Okay, and then you're gonna come back to your FTK moment, right?
No, I'm not talking.
You're not gonna talk about it at all. Okay.
I can give you another one. Let me.
Okay. I feel like the trauma ones are the ones you gotta tell on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm not giving that one yet.
Okay.
She's like, not ready. Not ready.
I'm gonna actually. I've never been in therapy, so this one's gonna make me start therapy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a rough one. It's deep.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'll give you an FTK. Eli has a girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah. And so they were boyfriend and girlfriend in 5th grade. They broke up because they were going to 2 separate middle schools. And now they're boyfriend and girlfriend again, even though they're at 2 separate middle schools. And this little girl loves to text Eli. Well, Eli has boundaries, and he's always known his boundaries, and he likes his time and his space. And so I think it was, what was it, Thanksgiving, Thursday? So it was Wednesday. She was blowing him up. Eli, I love you. Eli, text me. Eli. Mom, will you make this stop? Can you call her mom and tell her to stop texting? I'm like, Eli, just tell her that you're busy. No, I don't even want to, like, I don't want to text. Like, I'm tired. I'm having a day. I don't want to text. She would not stop. So finally, at like 8:30, he comes to me with this phone. Make it stop. Oh, no problem. Eli does not have his phone. Please quit texting. Okay, so sorry.
Wow. That's awesome.
So we're walking this little.
I didn't know they were at different schools.
Yeah, they're at different schools. Yeah, she was like, I was reading the text, was just like, Eli, I haven't seen you since 5th grade. Oh, y'all. What are we doing? So now I'm having to have this, like, what does an appropriate middle school relationship look like?
Yeah.
Right? We don't really love each other.
Right.
We don't have to say goodnight to go to sleep. Like, and so we're just, so yeah, that's my FTK moment that I'm willing to talk about right now. Still fresh.
Okay.
Still willing to work on it. So yes, yeah. So
I'm curious where these kids got these like expectations, these relationship things. Cause yeah, Kyla and her boyfriend have been, I think they made it 1 year.
Wow.
For like a high school relationship. But yeah, they're like, are always on FaceTime. They have to like FaceTime. They go like, and Linnea did this too when she was younger, like would FaceTime to bed and then just would be on FaceTime all night. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? You're sleeping.
Hear each other snore?
Yeah. I'm like, hang up. Like, what
are we doing?
What are we doing? So yeah, I think we weren't like that. And my husband still, like, he won't share his location. He won't join our Life 360. He's like, we made it through, like, the early 2000s, 90s. Like, you didn't need to know, like, where I am at all times. And, like, so I don't know. I think there's some boundary things with these new age relationships.
They have such a internet social connection through the internet and phones that it does create really unhealthy maybe trust issues, maybe it's trust issues, maybe it's boundary.
They just never turn it off. That's the thing. It's like, you know, when you'd go home like in the early 2000s, you were home and your boyfriend was wherever, you know? And you didn't know. You know?
Didn't know. It's like, okay, you made it home. Okay, great.
Right. Yeah.
See you next week.
I had my own phone line in my room. I thought it was the shit, right?
Yeah.
I remember getting my own phone line, and then it was like we would talk and probably fall asleep, which is probably the same thing, but like whatever. Like you still had no clue where anybody was.
Yeah.
My biggest deal is like if you jump on like I guess is it Snap? I think it's Snap, where you push it and you can see everybody's
their location.
So I don't know if you're on Snapchat.
Oh no.
Okay.
I was on Snapchat before I was married, and that's trouble. Yeah. Before I met my husband, you know.
So kids, they communicate. Snap is a big communication.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you look and it's like literally it's like all these kids all over, and you see everyone in their house, like wherever they are, these kids are just popping up. And so like even then like I remember one time Nyla, we had an episode and I pulled her she was going through a really tough time her sophomore year, and I pulled her to the state hospital because I was like, hey, you're not in a good place, like you're getting evaluated. Like, I'm not sure where you are mentally, and I'm not risking anything.
Yeah.
And so we went there, and next thing I know, her friends are like, why are you at the state hospital? Because she went to school and they could see it, and I'm like, turn off your phone.
Yeah.
Like turn it off. Let's disconnect from the world. But yeah, there's no
boundaries don't exist.
So I don't know. I don't even know how to tell you like I don't even know what a healthy appropriate relationship is, but I love you is not healthy, and saying goodnight to you every night is not okay.
Yeah, not at what, 13, 12?
My son doesn't even tell me he loves me every day. Like, you know, exactly. I gotta be telling some girl.
And Vic is loving it because Vic's like, oh, you know, there's another woman now in his life. I don't know what you're talking about. Eli, I'm the only woman, and I'm the only one that tells you, say you love you. Not until I tell you you can go off and have another woman that I approve of.
Right, when he's 40.
There's a protection with that mom and son.
Of course.
Like, no.
Yeah.
No, nobody else.
You were like, okay, I'll take your phone.
Yeah, you give me. I will sure tell her. Please stop texting.
Oh, that was so cute. Mom, make it stop.
Make it stop.
I love that.
That was so cute. So, okay. FTK moments.
Yes.
Ready? Let's dive in, Stephanie.
Okay, so now I'll tell you who I am.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm Stephanie. I think I'm 38. I was thinking about that on the way over here because I forget how old I am. So I am 38. I have a full-time job. I've been there for 15 years. I have a side hustle. I have a little charcuterie business on the side. I have one kiddo, Hudson. He's 8. I'm married to my husband, Patrick. We've been together since 2009, December 2009. We met many moons ago. Before we started dating, we were friends. Actually, it was weird. We weren't really friends. My husband actually got me fired from my first job before we were friends. That's a whole nother story. But we, long ago, we were both, he's a firefighter. We were both firefighters. That's how we met.
Wow.
So yeah, that's me now.
Nice.
I don't know how, like, you know, you have your like elevator pitch for your job. I'm like, what's my elevator pitch as a mom?
Well,
you
and
know?
it's always so awkward too, right? Like, but like it's in, I think we find our identities are like, oh, this is what I do, and this is what, like, like we're moms right now, just talking. So awesome. So a little bit about, I know we kind of like, we're throwing some stuff out there, but a little bit about your journey with Hudson. So he was a NICU baby. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to dive in?
Sure. Okay. So first of all, my husband and I, we waited a long time to have kids. We were married. We were engaged for like, I don't know, 3 years. We dated for like 4 years. And we were engaged for like, maybe 2 years. Then we got married. And then we waited like 4 years to have a kid. Like we were not in a hurry to like change our life.
Which I commend.
Yeah. But I always thought I would have 2 kids. We always planned on that, right? So after Hudson was born, I was like, this is done. Like I can't do it all again.
Yeah.
So Hudson was born 5 weeks early. I actually went into labor. My water broke 5 weeks and 2 days early. It was on St. Patrick's Day. I was not wearing green, so I joked that he pinched me and my water broke.
Little leprechaun in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, and he is such a leprechaun. He's also Irish, so you know. I woke my husband up in the middle of the night, and I was like, I think my water broke. He's like, I don't think that's what that is. I think you peed. And I was like, I mean, I've never felt this before, and it's not stopping.
Yeah.
So we get to the hospital, and they're like, oh yeah, they're like, this is amniotic fluid. You're having a baby, but your baby can't come yet because it's way too early. And I was like, okay. So they kept me in for 2 days, and I was like, I had the whole plan, like, you know, I was gonna, you know, push, and I was gonna get the epidural, and like all the things, and what they found was that Hudson was breached, so he was sideways in me, and his head wasn't down. And I was like, okay, well, Google says you can just turn the baby, so do it, you know?
Right.
They're like, no, we can't, like, you know, they wouldn't, I just felt like I didn't know what was happening, like, the whole time I was, like, in labor, you know? But I never actually went into, like, full labor. Like, I never had, like, you know, like, the contractions. Like, I never had any of that. I was like, this is cool, you know? So they're like, okay, 2 days later, they had given him a couple steroid shots. They're like, all right, we're going. We're having a C-section, and your baby will be here in, like, 4 minutes. I was like, great. So my husband, being a firefighter, he's a medic. He likes to look at all the nasty stuff, you know, like that comes naturally for him. So he watched the whole C-section.
Oh, wow.
He was like, Stephanie, they took your uterus out, flipped it inside out. They were like, you had a fibroid that was like this big.
Oh, my gosh.
They clipped some of them off. They sewed you back up. So I think I had fibroids, which stopped Hudson from coming down into the birth canal or whatever. He was like, it was disgusting. And then they stuffed it back in, and then they sewed you all up. And the whole time I just, you know, I didn't know what was going on. I just felt like, you know, some tugging or whatever. So they pull Hudson out, and they hold him up real quick, and then they whisk him away to, like, you know, wherever they weigh and clean up the baby or whatever. And I was like, Patrick, go with him. But I hadn't heard him cry yet. And I don't know, it probably felt like 2 minutes to me. It was probably like 10 seconds, y'all. But I was like, why isn't he crying? You know, and all of a sudden I hear him cry, you know. I'm like getting like overwhelmed now thinking about it, because I haven't really talked about that part of my delivery. But like, they bring him over to me. I see him, I take a picture with him, and they're like, okay, we're going to the NICU. And I was like, for what? You know? And Patrick's like, I don't know. And I was like, stay with him. Like, do not leave my kid, you know? Yeah. So I don't know if y'all have ever had a C-section, but after a C-section, you have to like, you have to wait for that anesthetic to, you know, wear off. And usually it's a couple hours. So the nurses are coming in, they're like, you got to pump. And I'm just like, I'm not pumping. Let me see my kid. They're like, you're not going to see your kid until you pump. So I'm like, what am I pumping for? Nothing's coming out, you know? Yeah. So I like was like all numb and all wobbly. And I was like, I pulled myself out of the bed and like dragged myself down. I remember like walking down the hallway, like holding on to like the, you know, like the little
or whatever,
you know, little bumpers.
Determined to see him.
Yeah. So I get down to the NICU. So he was in the NICU because he had, well, initially they're like, oh, he's, you know, his lungs are a little underdeveloped, and, you know, he's got jaundice, and his blood sugar was low, and, you know, all the things, right? Yeah. So they kept him in there, and he was having like apneic episodes. Like, he would just stop breathing because he wasn't mature enough yet to breathe. Yeah. So I remember they put him in this little like igloo looking thing, you know, and I didn't know what was going on. Like, I was there around the clock, you know, I was like pumping in the hospital, you know, like it was a wild journey. And then we brought him home 2 weeks after we got out of the NICU. They're like, he's fine. He passed the car seat test. And then the day, like a few hours after we got home, he stopped breathing again. And I was holding him, and he turned blue in my arms, and I was terrified. So we called an ambulance. We went to Del Children's, which was far, y'all. Like from Buda, it's far. That was like a 45-minute ambulance drive. I felt like it was like a day.
Yeah.
It took so long. So we get there and they're like doing spinal taps and all this stuff and trying to figure out what's going on with him. And they're just like, listen, your kid is a wimpy white boy. I was like, what do you mean? That's like a NICU term. They're like, you're like, boys tend to not develop quickly compared to girls. So like if a girl was born 5 weeks early, she might spend a day in the NICU and then she'd be out. You know, but boys, they're lazy, you know? So she was like, you know, the nurses are like, he's just going to take some time. So we were there like another 6 weeks at Del before he came home. And, you know, like you're a therapist, so you get like all of this. I'm sure you get kind of stories all the time. But I was telling y'all right before we started recording that it was really hard for me. Like I'm a really strong person. I'm not an emotional person. Like I'm a doer. So like when I have obstacles in my way, I push through them. And so I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pump. I'm going to take my milk up there. I'm going to see my kid. Like I was there around the clock. I was watching the nurses. I was doing all the things, you know, and then I would come home and it'd be me and my husband and our dog. And I would go to sleep and then I would wake up like dozens and dozens of times a night, digging in my covers. I was like digging in the sheets, pushing my husband out of the bed. Like you're suffocating him. Like I thought my son was in the bed with us and he wasn't. Yeah. And I would be like ripping my pillow out of my pillowcase, looking for him. And I would wake up like, what am I doing? And my husband was like, you know, stop. Like what's happening? Like this was happening like all night, every night. And so I went to my post-op appointment with my doctor after my C-section and she's taking out the staples. And so I'm like, listen, I have this weird thing where I'm having trouble sleeping. And, you know, obviously I'm sleep deprived because I'm a new mom, my kid's in the hospital, whatever. And she's like, that's not normal. Like, what you're going through is probably postpartum anxiety. You need to see someone. And I was like, I don't need a therapist. You know, like I've never seen a therapist. That's not for me. But I was like, okay, whatever, I'll go. So I went and this therapist, I'm like, this therapist is a quack. This woman was like, I was 29, right? So I'm an older-ish mom, you know. She was like 100. I'm like, this lady doesn't know what I'm going through, you know. So she was like, listen, we're going to do this thing called EMDR. It's like, this is a load of crap, you know. So she like puts these little buzzers in my hand and she's like, and it's like, I felt like I was milking a cow because I was like buzzing. And she's like, okay, imagine you're on a train. I'm like, this is stupid. Okay? She was like, in every window, you know, that passes on the train, like as the train is going along, like it's in the mountains somewhere. She's like, think through all of the different things that happen. Your birth story, your kid in the NICU, waking up in the middle of the night. She was like, picture from start to finish all of those moments. And I did that every week for 8 weeks. And each week I had less and less of those episodes waking up. And then after the 8th session, which happened to be the last free session, I was fine. Like I never had it again, you know? So I'm really grateful that I went to the therapy, but like I was traumatized. And then, so, you know, my husband and I, a year and a half later, were like, okay, let's try to have our next kid, you know? And then the pandemic hit and I was like, no, it's not happening again. This is like God's sign. Like, cause I hadn't gotten pregnant yet. And I was like, this is God's sign that we're not having another kid, because at the time, I don't know, you know, obviously we weren't all having babies anymore, right? Like our kids were older, but like, if y'all remember, like, you know, people who were having babies, there was only like the birth mom could be in there, nobody else. Yeah. And if your kid was in the hospital, like in the NICU, you couldn't go in. You had to like drop your milk off in the emergency room, like at the door. And I'm like, I can't leave my kid at home alone, Hudson, to be with whoever this other baby is. And my doctor was like, if you have another kid, it's definitely gonna be preemie, so it's definitely not NICU time. So I was like, I can't do that. I can't leave my kid and whoever that kid is for, you know, whatever. And I was like, that's it, done, no more. Like, that's it. So long story. Sorry.
Wow. No, you're good. Thank you for sharing. Like,
I haven't talked about that in like 8 years.
Wow. Yeah. It's emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think sometimes is like, with Nyla, I was so young, I didn't know what to expect. I'm sure you were kind of the same.
Yeah.
And so I remember at one point thinking I was going into labor and I really just had like really bad gas. And I had AFib, but I was determined the contractions were there. But so then when I did go into labor, like I like literally laid in bed forever. But I always remember after going through it, the first one with Nyla, I remember like when Leanne was pregnant and like she's a planner.
Yeah.
And she's like, I have my birth plan and I have this and I have that. And I just remember saying, hey, that's great. But at the end of day our goal is to have that baby here healthy and safe.
Yeah.
So no, that plan could just be thrown out the door.
Yeah.
Because we don't know. Like, you have no idea. And I think the plan's great, but at the same time, you don't know what you're about to walk into.
Yeah. And it goes like that after the birth too. Because like when I was in the hospital, they were like, you have to breastfeed him. And I was like, I want him to have my breast milk. But he couldn't latch because he didn't have the muscle strength, the skills, or whatever. And like y'all can see, I have huge boobs, okay? They haven't always been this big, you know. I put on a couple pounds. But I was like, you know, my kid's like suffocating in my boob right now. And he can't latch. So like Leanne, I was an exclusive pumper. Like around the clock I was pumping. But the hospital gave me so much shit. They're like, you have to put him on your breast. And I was like, he's getting my milk. Like, shut up. Yeah. But, you know, the plan is you have to put him on the breast.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Nyla latched fine. Eli, I think when he came, so both of mine were vaginal deliveries, and I did mine natural. I have a really high pain tolerance, and I was like, I got this, I can do this, and I did. Both of mine were natural. Oh, wow. But Eli, when he came out, he had broad shoulders, and so I think they pulled a little bit, and I think he bruised some of his, like, on his head and his neck area. Yeah. So they kept like coming in and like twisting his head. And like, I don't have big boobs. Like, there isn't much to grab. Even as you can see, his little A cups. Even with fully, I might have been a C. But he couldn't. He was uncomfortable and fussy the whole time. Yeah. And they just kept coming and shoving and shoving. And you're like, stop. Yeah. Stop. My other frustration, like with Eli, is I learned with Nyla, like, hey, I wanted to rest. Take him to like, let me get a rest in. Like, I learned to be like, it's okay for them. Yeah. But I told him to keep gloves on him. Well, they took gloves off, and he deeply cut his face with his own fingernails. He still to this day has a scar. Oh my goodness. On the side of his face from him cutting himself. I'm like, if y'all would have just left the gloves on, while I'm trying to nap, we all would have been just fine. Yeah. But it is so traumatic. This is we're talking birthing. Nyla, here's the funny thing with her. So again, natural delivery. I get into the hospital. Water hadn't broke. I'm at a 6 centimeters already. We're trying to get Vic to come because he thought I was lying again. How many times? And he's delivering furniture because that's what he's doing at the time. So he's out in a delivery somewhere in like Leander, and I'm in Round. I'm like, hey, you got to come see. Like, we're gonna have this baby. So they roll me in, and they're waiting. Like, my water still hasn't broke, but I am now like we're moving along. Contractions are getting closer and closer. I start signing papers. Don't know what I'm signing. Y'all could have signed that kid to another country. No idea. I remember at one point finally looking up in this room, and there were so many people in the room, and I was like, man, it takes a lot of people to deliver a baby. Yeah, I don't understand. So because I was natural and nobody goes natural anymore, they would not tell me when they were going to, like, when they came in to check, they would just shove their hand, and I'd be like, hey. Yeah, a little notice I feel it all. Yeah. When the doctor went to give me an episiotomy, he put the needle in to numb me without telling me. I jumped. The needle flew out of his hand, and he caught it, and Nyla was already crowning. Oh, and it, like, almost hit her. Oh, and I looked at him, I was like, I am not numb. I felt everything. So I get through this delivery. They break my water. She's out in like 50 minutes. This lady comes up to me afterwards. She was like, thank you so much for letting my class view. We never seen what? A natural delivery. And I look, and I'm like, what did I do? They're like, you signed off to let a class view. And I'm like, oh, that's why I was an audience. I had an audience for that one. Yeah. It was crazy.
You're like, there's so much paperwork. You don't know.
I don't know what I'm saying.
You're not reading any of that.
I'm at a teaching hospital. Yeah. Wow. Please, all of you view my vagina, my child coming out, whatever. I love it. Yeah, that was entertaining. But then Eli was a totally different deal. It was 3 a.m. when I went into labor. I started bleeding. I had blood running down my leg. And I remember that panic of like, this isn't normal. Water hadn't busted yet, but there's blood. And I called my doctor, and she's like, you're probably, like, I was already like sitting at like 7 centimeters, just hanging out the house. She's like, you're probably ready. Let's get in. I get in. Oh, but I told Vic, I wake him up. He goes and takes a shower. I'm sitting in the car. Like,
does he not know they come faster?
They come fast. I was like afraid that Eli was just going to fall on his head because it's fast. But we get there, and it was Southwest Austin, and it's a small hospital.
Mm-hmm.
She never turned the light on. She kept it dim. It was like very peaceful. There was nobody. There was not the audience.
No class.
So like that was a different experience, but it was also still very hard because his shoulders got stuck. Like there was a lot, but there's just no guarantee, and you just want them out safe.
Yeah.
But now those shoulders help him play football.
Yeah, they better do a lot.
Those better make some good money in college or NFL.
Yes.
Eli better have some ROI with him because he's cost me a lot.
Yeah. But I think even talking about like the postpartum, I remember with Kyla, I mean, with Linnea, I was so young, I didn't know. My mom was there doing a lot of the things. And I feel like I did go through some postpartum depression or like anxiety because I was 16. I mean, that in itself was a lot. But after with Kyla, when I was like, oh, okay, I'm a full adult, I'm a wife, and I remember something similar where it was like I would wake up kind of in a panic, like going to check if she was breathing, and she didn't even have, any of those kind of things, but it was just like in my mind, like I just couldn't get comfortable. And I was like reading all the books. I was like, I can't go sleep. And then my mom was like, girl, you better put that baby in the bed with you.
So that you'll sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah, those babies were in the bed.
Oh,
Me
yeah.
too. He's still in my bed sometimes.
It takes him a long time to get out of there.
I think Nyla, we were able to break because I got pregnant with Eli. So at 6, I was like, all right, girl, I'm pregnant. You're large child.
Yeah.
Husband, no, out. That was the only way. And then Eli was just determined. We co-sleep because we have to sleep.
Right.
You need it.
You have to sleep.
Yeah.
I can't even I remember trying to do the cry it out, and then we got the little Merlin magic baby. He looked like a marshmallow. And there's so many things, and I battled it, like rocking him and waking up constantly and checking to make sure he's breathing. I even had, this was before the owlet, the little foot thing. There was this thing called Snooza, and it was like a little thing, and it clipped onto the diaper, and it monitored every time the stomach, rose and fall. And if the stomach didn't rise, it would start alarming. It would wake you up. And I would, oh my God, my kid wore that till he was 2. I was terrified. It was a long time.
Well, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But I got so tired of not sleeping by the time he was 18 months, because I know you can't co-sleep because there's SIDS and you can, all these things, right? I was like, fuck it. 18 months, I was like, I'm done. I'm breaking. I have to sleep. So one day I just carried him into the bed after he woke me up or whatever, and I was like, go to sleep. I went to sleep, and from that day on, I slept.
Yeah.
And my husband's like,
he's like, what happened to the plan?
There's a couch. Go on the couch.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Get with the plan or go to the couch. I don't know what you're doing. Yeah.
I remember those first few weeks, I would just roll over and put a boob in a mouth and just sleep. I'm so tired. Yeah. And I need sleep. I don't function without sleep. Right. So I'm like, I can't do this. Y'all, this is kids. But no. My parents, I slept with my parents. My sisters, we're all fine.
Yeah. We were fine.
So wherever book or doctor or whoever felt the need to say we don't need a co-sleep, please take that off the table because we can do whatever we need to do to survive. And that's what drives me insane with so much is there's so much pressure, like you say, even from the hospital of all the things. There's so much pressure and almost to the judgmental of if you don't do it the way they think they do it and you do it the way from medical profession to all the things, right? Other parents, stop. We're just all trying to. There's no right way to raise a kid. You have to do it the way that you can survive,
right? But I think all the books copy each other, right? It's these are the tales that have been told for 100 years, whatever. So this is the right way. But I remember, you have to breastfeed for 2 years, whatever. I remember I pumped exclusively for 6 months, and then I went back to work, my corporate job. And it's a really beautiful campus, and they have mom's rooms. I mean, these are lounges, I want to hang out there all day long, But I would pump, but I was so busy at my job, I would only be able to pump once every 8 hours. And oh my God, I would pump a gallon, y'all. It was so much. And it got to the point then where I wasn't pumping enough, more the frequency. Because of my job, I was too busy. And so my milk started to go away. And then I got to a point where I had run through all my reserves because I was a big producer. I had run through everything. And I remember breaking down, oh my God, I have to put my kid on formula. And it was but I was whatever, I don't want to do it. I want to be able to provide for my kid as long as I can, and now I can't. So I'll switch to formula. But there was so much pressure from other people. You have to keep pumping, and I'm like, I'm tired. Like I'm a big boss at my job. Like I can't, most people can take their little 15 minutes and go. I can't. Like I'm busy. You're busy. I'm lucky if I get to eat lunch. So I had to switch to formula, and it was just that.
And it's just fun.
And then just fun.
Totally.
Yeah, just fun.
Same with Kyla. Well, my mom, like I said, I was 16 with Linnea. My mom was like, girl, you got to go back to school. You're like, you give that baby a bottle of, a formula. She's fine. And I was like, oh, well, I was in like a class and all the, it's all the teen moms. And like, we had like a nurse practitioner who would come and like talk to us. And I was like, oh, I have to breastfeed. Mom's like, no, you're not. You have to graduate from high school. Yeah. But with Kyla, same. It was like breastfeed. And she didn't latch. And they would, try to force. I'm like, do you see this big boob? Like, she's in there, like, then you have to get the whole areola in her mouth. And I'm like, my husband, and he was like,
your areola is probably the size of the baby's
head. Exactly. I was like, what do you mean? Like, and they would just like push it in and push it. Yes. And I'm like, that is my tit. Like, what are you doing? Stop it.
You forget like how you have, like, you get to the hospital and there's like, it's like a, there's everything. They're picking, probing, touching.
Like, doing all the things.
But you're like, if my husband can't put his whole mouth on it, my baby's not going to.
And Corey was so frustrated, and I was like, we have to breastfeed. It's gonna be the best for her. But she would not latch, and she wasn't getting anything. And then they would bring like the little formulas, like, well, you can supplement and try. And Corey was like, why are you doing this? Like, our baby is hungry. Feed her. Just give her the formula. And I was like, but I need to breastfeed because I didn't get to do it with Linnea. And, like the pressure of feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible mom because I'm not able to breastfeed. And I don't want to just like stick my whole boob in her mouth, like, and force her to, that just doesn't seem comfortable. And so, I had to, and then I did try to pump and do all the things and then go back to work. And I was like, you know what? Here's the formula, and she's fine.
Yeah. She's fine. I had to go back at 6 weeks with Nyla, and I was running a restaurant, and I was trying to, and she, like I said, she latched, she was fine. But I remember going like, I can't pump in the middle of a Friday night shift where there's no lactation room.
No, there's a bathroom, you're on the toilet.
There's not even a bathroom. I had like an office that was a shared office by all the manager, and I'd put a sign up and be like, pumping. I'm trying to pump, and it's like, knocks on the door, hey, we got a customer, Matt. I'm sure you do. I don't know what y'all want me to do. Like, right. And so then, and she was sensitive, so I threw her on lactose free, and we were like, okay, it just is what it is. Yeah. And then I remember with Eli, I was determined. Eli, like, do you, like, y'all have these massive boobs. Again, I don't have anything. So it was like 5 pillows high just to get him upright. And so they were like, try the football hold. Oh. I'm like, so I got the kid here. Yeah. Like, no, y'all, none of this.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. And then Eli was doing okay, and I was doing okay until we ended up in the hospital at 3 weeks, and it was the same, right? And not just the stress of it. And they were like, I was drying up because it was too stressful, and they were like, we can give you a pill to build. No, I'm done. Yeah. Give them like, I got to pick my battles, and this isn't one. Sleeping in the bed. Pick my battles. Get in this bed. We all got to sleep. Yeah. Right? Like, you talked about your kid. Soft food. That's not a battle. You eat, like, what do you want? You want a pancake? You want to go eat the food? You didn't have any vegetables today? Oh, darn. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, I was just in the pediatrician this summer, and we aren't on, like, dairy milk. We do unsweetened almond milk. Mm-hmm. He does a yogurt, so he gets some Greek, whatever, and he'll eat cheese here and there. Mm-hmm. But this, like, pediatrician started giving me such a hard time, and it's not our normal one. I needed to get him in for a physical, and of course I'm the mom that just doesn't do all the things. I'm like, hey, let's just late on my 1 year, let's just knock it all out at once. Yeah. And this guy's like, well, he needs X amount of dairy. I was like, he's just fine. And like, he would not stop. And so then, well, he needs this vaccine and this vaccine and this vaccine. I'm like, all right, tell me what this is. Will he die with this? Now I'm just being a bitch because you made me mad over my milk. My kid's fine. He's 5'7" and 120 pounds. Can you sign the physical and let's go play football? Yeah. On his almond milk? Like, stop.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But there is so much pressure.
Yeah. I mean, Kyla, every year I'm like, oh, she's still alive. She doesn't eat anything. People are always like, she's like, I never had a burger. They're like, she's never had a burger?
What?
Never. Like, she's taken a one tiny bite in her whole, she will be 16 on Tuesday. And she doesn't eat, like, for, I think, elementary school, she took bacon as her lunch. And like fruit or whatever, and so people are always intrigued, like, oh, I think I can get her to try. I'm like, she won't try anything. And I'm like, I did all the things right. Like, you know how they're like, oh, you give them the vegetables first and then you do the fruit and then you, like, I'm like, I did all of those things, and my kid she's a picky eater. So chicken strips.
You know, when my son
chicken
had
strips
this morning for breakfast, I came out and my son made him his own breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
He made a cup of ramen noodles,
mm-hmm.
a bag of Skinny Pop, and I forget what the other thing. It was like candy or something. Yeah. And I look at my husband. My husband's like in the kitchen, and I was like, "What's this?" He's like, "That's what he's having." It's like, perfect.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
And look, he's made it himself. He's self-sufficient,
independent. He's not a wimpy white boy. No. He's making it in the world.
Yeah.
Ramen he's got a full meal plan.
A full meal. He's getting all the new. Yeah. I'm always like, oh my gosh! Every year I go to the doctor and I'm like, they're like, she's fine. She's not malnourished. She's like, you know, I'm like, but she's an athlete. How's she gonna? And they're like, she gets it from her goldfish and her strawberries or spicy chicken tenders, specifically from Popeyes. Like,
that's good stuff.
Very. Oh my gosh, last night, I've talked about her door dashing. So last night I was doing her hair because her birthday's coming up. And so I guess this is my FTK. So she door dashes Zaxby's. And so it comes to the door, whatever. And then my husband's like, who got Chili's? Oh no.
They brought the
wrong stuff. And so then she's looking and she's like, this isn't, tears in her eyes. I was so hungry, and they brought me a freaking burger from Chili's. And so I'm like, okay, well, get on and she's like, I don't know how to. So I'm like, she's like trying to call the dasher, but you know, once they deliver, then you don't have. Yeah. So she was so mad, like in tears, because she just wanted her Zaxby's chicken tenders. And they brought her a burger from Chili's. Aww. And so then she was like, it's going to take 3 to 7 business days for me to get my money back. And I still didn't even get my order. So then my husband was like, well, what else do you want? And she was like, I'll take mozzarella sticks from Sonic. And so he went to get.
Aww.
But when she was little, she used to say, I like mozzarella sticks with no cheese. And we would be like, so you like the breadcrumbs? I don't know what, like, you want the crust of the mozzarella sticks? I didn't understand.
So would she eat them the way they come, or she'd take the cheese out?
She would take the cheese out.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
I'm like, but why are we ordering mozzarella sticks if you don't want the cheese? I don't know. But anyway.
I love it.
Food chronicles for these children.
I think that's good though. Obviously I'm not a girl mom, but like as your daughters are teenagers, right? Or, you know, like there's already so much about food, you know, like don't make it about that. If she wants to pick the cheese out, let her pick the cheese out. You know what I mean? Like that's on her without shame. There's so much food shame, you know.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think even the boys, I've noticed now that we're in middle school, so Eli has a very high metabolism. So no matter what he eats, and he eats a lot, and nothing's healthy, right? It's hot dogs, corn dogs. I think the healthiest thing right now is like I've got egg tacos that he does, right? So that's probably our healthiest thing that I can get in this kid right now. Again, no vegetables. Maybe some fruit here and there, but he just, his body burns, right? He's built like my husband. My husband's very physically fit, very just muscular already.
Ooh, he sounds nice.
Yeah, he's nice. He's nice. We'll keep him around. But Eli's that same way. Like he's already got a 6-pack, and he's already, you can see the muscles in his arm. And so they'll, like his friends, like, we'll hear them, and they'll be like, well, Eli, you can just eat whatever. And these are boys.
Yeah.
You have a high metabolism. Like, that's not fair. And I'm like, I told Vic, I was like, it breaks my heart. Like, these are little boys in middle school, but there is so much shame around food and body image that even not just the girls, but these boys struggle with it too.
Yeah. Hudson, a couple weeks ago was like, how many calories are in this? And I was like, why? He's like, I'm just curious. I was like, why would you ask me that?
Yeah.
You know, and there's all these, you know, I know we were talking before, there's all this like cool new lingo now. And they're like, oh, people are calling each other big backs. I'm like, what does that mean? It means you're fat. Okay. Like, first of all, stop saying that, son. And, but like, so I tell him, especially now, like he's getting so much stronger, you know, he's like, you know, he comes up to like here on me, like he's a big kid, you know, he's tall, but he's lean. And I'm like, listen, dude, he only eats when he's hungry. He doesn't eat like I eat when I'm bored or whatever. Same. That's me. But, you know, he'll eat like fourth meal. He's like shoveling pasta in, but he's super active. And so I just tell him like, you're really healthy. And he looks at his friend who's like borderline anorexic, this other little boy, but that's his body type, you know? And so I just tell him like, you're strong, your body is healthy, you know? And when if he jumps on me and I don't want to be like, dude, you're heavy. Like he is heavy. He weighs almost 100 pounds, but I don't ever tell him that. I'm like, you have to understand, like you're way stronger than me and your body is built like bigger and more muscular. So, you know, you have to be careful, you know, but like with her, you know, jumping on me or whatever. But I'm like, when it comes to food, like your body's healthy. Your doctor says you're healthy. You eat what you want to eat and don't worry about what the calories are.
Well, I think at school at some point they start talking about calories and different stuff. School, please stop.
I know.
There's so many things I want the school to just, hey, go teach reading and math.
Right.
Count some money. Teach time.
Financial literacy. Yeah.
Cursive.
Bring cursive back. How about that?
Let's stop with all this stuff that like, I'm done. Stop
teach them how to do their taxes and change their oil.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Fry an egg or something.
Don't bring calories up to the deal. When y'all serve just shit food, like
that they don't want,
that they're wasting.
I don't even think Kyla's ever been in the cafeteria. I don't know.
What did Eli told me the other day, because he's like in middle school, he's like, yeah, they have some chicken. I don't know what that was. I don't think that was chicken. I said, it probably wasn't. Did you eat it? Yeah, I ate it. I said, okay, good. Let's move on with life. But yeah, no. Well, you did. We talked about you brought an F to the table.
Yes.
It's perfect time to add this F. Are you ready?
Yeah.
We have a new FTK, and it is.
You want me to say it? Oh, okay.
You brought it.
I don't know how to Google like all the F words. You know, like I was like, what are F adjectives or whatever? Is it adjectives? I don't know. And Fathom came up. Fathom this kid. Like I need to learn to deeply understand my kid, because like when I was a kid, you know, we were saying like words we don't say today, you know, and like, you know, there were just, life was different, you know? And so now we have like, you know, my kid has a friend who has like same-sex parents. Like my kid has a friend who's on the spectrum, or like my kid has a friend who, whatever. So I'm trying to like be present. I'm trying to be really involved, but like in a way that I'm learning, not like me telling him things, but like me learning from him. So like, you know, I will watch him play Fortnite, or he'll walk around. Like I was telling y'all the other day, I made some food and he's like, this is bussin'. And I was like, I don't know what that is. So I went to Google, like, what's bussin', you know? I was like, okay, that's a good
dictionary.
thing.
Yes. I feel like everything is Urban Dictionary.
Yeah. But I'm like, I don't understand all the things, but I try to support all the things, like, you know, all the 6, 7. So like for Halloween, that's my son's favorite holiday. So I like bought these skeletons, and I got, one was him and one was me, and they're huge, like 5 feet skeletons or whatever. And I bought these t-shirts, and one of them like hit the little Hudson skeleton had a t-shirt that said 6, 7, and mine was sitting in a lawn chair next to him, and had a little wig on and everything, and the t-shirt said like, I don't understand this 6, 7 boo sheet, you know. But I try to like be cool with him and like learn through him, and like, and you know, I know like all his friends are always at our house, you know, and like I treat them like they're my kids. Like I parent them, I yell at them as much as I yell at my kid, you know. But I'm trying to really understand my son, and also be more like just understanding in the world, because there's just so much that's different, you know. And like every time Hudson comes to me, like every day he'll come to me and be like, Mom, can I tell you something? I'm like, always, you know, or Mom, can I ask you something? Anytime. Because I don't ever want him to not come to me. And I tell him all the time now, I'm like, you know, I will not be upset if you did something wrong. I'll be upset if you hid it from me, you lied to me, you didn't tell me the truth about something or whatever. So I'm just like, come to me and talk to me and ask me the things, you know, like we were talking earlier about like, you know, he said a word, he was like rhyming and said the C word. And I was like, you know, I started laughing. And
it would be cunt for all those listening.
Well, he was like bunch, runt, cunt. And I started laughing. So I was like, And he was like, what? And I was like, well, first of all, cunt's a really bad word. He's like, well, why did you say it? And I'm like, because I'm trying to explain to you. And so I'm like, and so he's like, well, what is it? You know, and I explained like, well, that's what people like. It's like, bitch, like you call a girl that if she's being mean and you don't like her, whatever. And I was like, so I told him like what bitch meant, you know, like where the word comes from. And then I told him where cunt came from. I was like, that's a girl's, you know, vagina. And he's like, that's disgusting. And I was like, okay, so don't call a girl that.
That's all you're gonna tell a boy.
Right.
Yeah. It's a vagina.
They're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah. But I'm like, I want him to be aware of things. So so like when he asked me things, other than like, you know, Christmas magic and stuff, like I still lie about, you know, a lot of things, right? But I am very honest with him about a lot of things because, you know, like I want to be straight with him. Like I don't ever want him to find his information elsewhere. And there's a lot of things I don't know, like all the things he's experiencing in the world, right? So like I don't know those things and I don't know how to navigate. Like I didn't hang out with people who were different than me, you know? And so I try to be like really open-minded and do a lot of observing with him. So I'm trying to fathom this kid. Like,
you love it.
Yeah,
that's a good F.
That's a good F.
I also like to say fuck. That's the best F.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
that's the number one F.
Fathom is a good one.
But what is it? You're in the, I call it the sweet stage, right? You're in the golden years because he's still 8. He's cute.
Oh, he loves me. I'm his best friend. Yeah.
In a couple years, you can come back and we can talk about fucking but no, fathom is so good. And, you know, being present and helping, like, try to help them navigate the world they're living in, which is a totally different world than what we were raised in.
Right.
It does. You mentioned, like, you want to raise a good human. Like, it's the goal. We want to raise kind people. And now that, you know, I feel like, you know, I'm raising an autistic kid, I have to be careful because I quickly will always just be, like, I want to tell everybody what's, like, hey, he's this, this, and this. And I'm having to learn right now to stop and let him find his way.
Right.
Eli presents very atypical in the world. So I fear that people are going to, like, miss that because he comes off as, like, average normal kid. Like, I don't understand that he processes the world differently and he thinks differently and all the things. And so, but even, like, teaching him, like, I think the first time when he realized he had ADHD was because he was singing a song from YouTube. And I think I talked about in this episode. And my aunt was like, oh my God, he knows that he has ADHD. And I'm like, I guess, I don't know. We don't talk about it. Like, we're just navigating life. Like, hey, you know your strengths and you know your weaknesses. Like, that is what we talk about, right? Like, I don't need to label you. Yeah. So he doesn't know. But I looked at him, I'm like, hey, you know you have ADHD. What? I got ADHD? Yeah, why would you sing the song? It was on YouTube. Yeah, of course it was. Yeah. But let me explain what ADHD is. Your brain is moving so fast and it's doing this, and most people, like, so we talk about all of it, but it's, you know, my fear on this side is, like, I want kind kids, like, going through middle school and high school. I worry, like Eli's not reading. Eli processes differently. Is somebody going to make fun of him? Or are there parents out there teaching their kids to understand that kids are different? And we can still be friends and it's okay. It's hard.
But he will, like, if he doesn't read at the level he's supposed to read today, he will be able to read in the world. He will be able to do. That's what I tell my son. Like, he's terrible at math, and I'm like, I just do your best. If your best is failing, I'm good. Like, I am not going to be like, you better get A's or you're grounded. You know, I always want to create a safe space for him because I know, like, he'll grow up and carry a calculator. We have a calculator with us all the time, right? You know, and I am 100% a calculator user, you know, but I think most importantly, it's to be kind. I want him to be responsible, respectful, kind, compassionate, and he is all those things, you know. And you were talking about, like, the social media aspect of it. Like, he's an only child. Like, my husband's like, he's always on the iPad. He's always talking to his friends. And I'm like, that's how he communicates to other people. Because we didn't give him siblings. And my dog recently passed away, and that was his sister. You know, like, he doesn't have anyone else. So, like, when he's like, Mom, can I go outside and ride bikes? I'm like, yep. He's like, Mom, can so-and-so come over and swim? I'm like, yep. I committed, like, a couple years back that anything, and I'm going to try to say yes to as many things in life as I can. Like, he gets invited. He's a popular kid. He has lots of friends. And I have a lot of friends too. Like, their moms are my friends, right? So he gets invited to so many birthday parties, y'all. And I hate it, but I love it. And so my husband and I will tag team, because sometimes, like, 2 or 3 birthday parties in a day. Oh my goodness.
You said way too many. But I'm like, my budget's one a month. Pick who you want to see.
But I say yes because he has those are his people, right? So, like, if he's got 8 birthday parties in the month of March, we're going to all of them if we're home, because I don't want to take that away from him because like I grew up, I had an older sister and a younger brother. So like there was always someone there to fight with, you know, he doesn't have that. So he's on earlier today, he was on FaceTime with his best friend and they were fighting and they hung up and they deleted each other. And like 15 minutes later, they call each other back. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. Can you have me back?
And that's the sibling experience that he's getting through friends that you're allowing. Because there's a lot of value with having siblings. There's also, I think, a lot of value that's nice to be an only child.
Yes. I love that he's only child. He always asks me, like, Mom, can I have a brother or sister? And I'm like, absolutely not. But I can afford to give him the lifestyle that I want to give him. Like, you know, we travel, like, internationally several times a year. Like, he's experienced a lot of things that, you know, family, like, my husband's one of 4, and they couldn't afford to do anything, you know? So I want to give him the experience that he deserves, you know, because he doesn't have other people. Like he's got me, you know, and my husband.
Yeah. I love that. And it's just staying involved. It's staying active. It's staying present. It's fathom those kids. It's in it. And different seasons look different. You're in an enjoyable season.
Yeah. I keep getting scared though, because you were talking about this.
I know.
Every episode you're talking about
bad. I'm in it, y'all. So I'm very, I think there's like you had your NICU experience, right? And you know what the trauma that kind of came with that, right? So when moms hit that, you can easily share and talk, right? Raising girls is a whole thing of trauma, right? I'm
so glad I don't have a girl. And I don't know how you deal with periods. I can't even, I'm like, ugh.
And then you like sync up. So
right. Oh, then the whole house, your whole house is on fire. And
and my husband is like, get me out of here.
My dad used to say, because it was just me and my sister, and my mom, we all synced at one time, and we had a dog. We had a Lhasa Apso, and he was very aggressive, and he was like, y'all just all get on your period at the same time. Dog's biting my head off because y'all on your period. He's protecting y'all. I can't move in this house.
Yeah. Same. We had a girl dog. So
my
husband was like, why did I make this choice? I'm like, you just really love us, I guess.
Love the girls.
That's awesome.
Periods are a lot. Emotions are a lot.
Yes. The attitudes.
The drama, it's a lot. And then even like right now with, you know, for me, my trauma with Eli has been the journey of the autism and ADHD and so much that we've been through. So like that looks so different. I mean, you talk about birthdays, like him being invited. I remember going through like kindergarten, first grade, like 4-year-old and 5-year-old and 6-year-old when 7 was, he was in like these programs. Like we had to move him into life skills at one point because there wasn't a program to fit his needs. And I remember thinking, he's never going to have friends. I remember crying, like even at his birthday party, thinking like, we're never gonna have friends. Like the friends that would come, like great little kids, but like, you know, they're also dealing with their own battles. And you know, to watch all of these moments. I remember like first grade birthday party, you know, we had all the kids from life skills we invited. So we had, you know, different Down syndrome, and we had different sensory issues, and we had all the things. And I just remember looking around and just all of us parents just out here struggling so much. Right. And so I remember thinking, my kid's never going to have friends. And like that was one of the hardest things. Like, what is this going to look like? Now we have we have a girlfriend that loves him. Then she can't go to bed until he says goodnight. But like, it's
but hard. You don't see the growth you've made until you look back.
You know, right? And you have to look back at it.
Yeah. So. And you have to talk about it like this.
You have to talk about it. Like, in a safe space. Where we can share and know that like, hey, I'm not the only one. And I might not do something right to somebody else, but it's right in my house. I'm okay with it.
It works for us.
Or maybe it didn't and I completely failed and I'm still okay with it because the kids are still alive.
Yeah, they made it. They survived.
Yeah, totally.
There's been questionable moments. But no, it's, you know, enjoy every phase. Every season is enjoyable. Even looking back right now, like at Nyla and what we went through in middle school and high school and what we're still, you know, navigating right now.
Yeah, like her car, her purse.
Oh, man.
I know at one point I'm going to be able to look back at a few more years and we're going to be like, look how far you came.
Right. She's going to have her own daughter someday and you're going to tell her daughter, let me tell you what your mom did.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
I can't wait. Oh, you want to call and complain about your kids? Yeah. That's why I don't call and complain about my kids and my parents because they're going to tell me karma's a bitch. I'm aware.
Yeah.
But you do. Like, it's just their seasons and their journeys. And they're all hard and beautiful in the same.
And I think our kids benefit a lot when they see us fail.
They do.
And I do a lot of screaming, y'all. I'm from New York. I scream at my kid. Sometimes I scream scary at him. Like when I'm really serious, I'm like, fuck off. Yeah. And he, like, you could see the look on his face, like, oh shit, you know? But I'm not perfect, and he sees that, you know? And I cuss a lot at home, and my son cusses a lot at home, and I say, you can cuss in this house, but don't go out and say that in front of your friends, you know? But create that safe space for you. But I feel a lot. And, you know, I'm not perfect, and my son sees it, and I apologize to my son a lot.
I apologize a lot too,
And it's like, is that healthy?
It is.
Because a lot of parents are like, do as I say, not as I
do. That's And
when I lose it on him, I'm like, I'll calm down and I'll be like, I'm really sorry I yelled at you. Like, I should not have gotten out of control like that, or I got really upset. And not saying like, I'm sorry, but you did. I'm just like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, can I have a hug? Like, I need a hug from you. You know, I've tried that really hard to just be transparent with my kid as much as I can.
That's so good.
It is good.
It's good. No,
I fail at a lot of other things, but that I feel like I'm getting better at.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, it's good for them to see us as human beings, because, you know, it's like you think, oh, my parents are perfect, so then I have to be perfect. So then when I'm not perfect, right, then I'm such a disappointment or whatever. And I think, but taking accountability as a parent and apologizing, I think that was like one thing that I was like, I'm going to apologize to my kids. I think I could count on my fingers how many times my parents apologized to me.
Right.
And I'm like, I didn't like that. I think it would be cool if you could say like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't handle this the best way, and this is what we can do moving forward, right? And so I mean, that's a cool thing.
In every relationship you have with your friends, your spouses, everyone, there's a mutual respect.
Yes.
And respect is earned. And that has to happen with your kids too. You can't just say like, respect me because I am the authority. I am your parent. My husband is very old school, so he's like, you just do what I say. You respect your kid. And I'm like, okay, but you need to respect him too. You can't scream at him and, you know, be mean to him, whatever, spank him and expect him to just apologize to you. Like, you lost your shit on him. Apologize to him too. My husband can't swallow his pride and apologize to my son yet, but we're working on it.
Yeah. Husbands are different.
That's a whole different. Husbands and sons are different.
Yeah.
Because they have high expectations.
They do, and I've watched it with like Vic and Nyla have been totally different. Like, he's like, Nyla, I think he went to spank her one time. She started screaming her head off and starting to call CPS, and they never touched her. And now he's like, I should have spanked that child. You didn't do it. It's on you, buddy. But then Eli, like, he's received multiple spankings for his behavior. But Vic has also gotten to the point now where he explains, hey, because you did this, this is the outcome. And so now there's more of a conversation, but you know, I love you. And I think that's so important, because knowing that, like, hey, this is coming from a place of love. It hurt, like, it's hard. But it takes time. And like, it definitely takes men to get to a certain point to be able to set their ego aside and be like, okay, what am I not bringing from my childhood?
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
I had a great childhood, but I try to bring less and less of that into how I parent my kid. I think we all do that. We're like, I'm not going to do the same thing when I have a kid. And sometimes we do. Like, some of the things I say, I'm like, my parents did this. I'm like,
I did it. I say more of my dad's shit. I'm like, oh, I'm so much garbage green.
But also, like, kids test boundaries, right? I let my son test the boundaries. Like, I respect it because I'm very independent and very strong. I'm a Taurus, y'all. So I'm like, you know, a New York Taurus. Come on. So for me, I'm pretty hardcore, and I let my son be hardcore too. Like, but he can't be hardcore to me. Like I told you, I'll let him say fuck and this and that or whatever. One time he came up to me, like, a couple months ago. He was pissed at me because I made him come inside after he was being a shithead to his friend, and he said, fuck you, bitch, to me. And I was like, that's when, like, I've never been ugly, Mom. Holy shit, y'all. I was like, you, like, the devil voice came out of me, and I don't think I've ever had that before. And I was like, you're losing your iPad for 2 days. And he did. I stood my ground, and he was like, I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. I'm like, I am the only person in this world who will never not be on your side. Don't you ever say that to me, you know? Ever. You can say fuck all you want, but not to me.
Not to me, at me.
It's and they push boundaries, and I think that's and the older they get, the more boundaries they try to push.
And
then it's like they wait for us to break and then they run. Oh, we got a moment of weakness.
Right. Yeah.
Or nope, I can't get away with that.
No.
She's not giving. Yeah. Oh, these kids. Gotta love them. Gotta love them.
I feel like I've been holding my breath this whole time. I gotta.
Breathe.
Yeah.
No, this has been so fun
It
and
is
so
good.
good. Like, thank you for sharing so much. Like, you shared a lot of emotional journeys with him in the NICU and even your postpartum, and then raising an 8-year-old is not easy.
Yeah.
I know. It's hard. I'm definitely his bruh. You know? Sometimes I'm mommy, like when he's scared of the dark, and most of the time I'm bruh.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I'm hanging in there.
I won't respond. I'm like, what? And he'll look at me like, what do you say? Yes. Yes, what? Then I'm just done.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Get off of here.
I've become MOM. If I don't answer mom, MOM, I'm like, what?
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just never stops.
Never.
It's never gonna
I
stop.
just want a quiet place sometimes where you can just like maybe rock against the wall on the mental suit.
Right.
Like,
You don't get that quiet place till you're in heaven, girl. Like that's it. You'll be looking down at your kid like,
I'm ready. I tell Jesus all the time, I need that big bed. I'm so tired. It better be a huge bed. I'm ready to rest. But no, this has been great. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been so fun.
Thank you for listening and engaging. Like, Stephanie, we appreciate you.
I feel like I like know I'm your besties. Like I know you really well, but you don't know anything about me. But I appreciate
We're gonna like hang out and have coffee soon, or alcohol, whatever works comes first. Whatever.
Either one, or both at
maybe
the same
coffee
time.
and alcohol in my coffee.
Yeah, hot toddy or something.
No, because Leanne has talked so much greatness about you.
Thank you.
And I love that.
Thank you.
And so
Leanne is, and just real quick in closing, Leanne is the only person my son will listen to with threats. Like I threaten him. So like if Hudson won't listen to me, I go, Mommy Leanne, can you get my kid? And she's like, Hudson, more! And he's like, yes, ma'am.
She's like all of a pint size, yelling and screaming in that Italian voice. Like,
she's scary to him.
Oh my God. I've got Leanne stories after Leanne stories.
I love it. I love it.
But it is funny. Your kids they have a different respect for other people. Just like Linnea said that on her pod, she was like, yeah, my mom will say it, but then like when Winter says it, then it's like, oh, okay, I'm tripping. Okay, well, I'm glad Winter's here.
We're sitting there. She's like, I want a puppy for Christmas. And we were like, this was literally like right before we're recording the podcast. Let's ask for a puppy. And I was like, oh, okay. But they already have a dog. And she's like, I want a fuzzy little one. I'm like, oh, that's great. So do you know how much haircuts are every month or whatever when you go to the groomer? Well, no. Well, why don't you look at that if you want to spend $80 to $100 on your little fluffy dog? And then she was like, oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, I literally said that, but I'm like, okay, Auntie Winter said.
Auntie Winter's got your back.
Yeah. I love it.
It's so good. So, all right, guys, what a great episode. Thank you again, Stephanie. Loved having you. I can't wait to dig into our security.
Oh, my gosh, they look so good.
I know. No, we'll post a picture of them. They're beautiful. So.
Thank you.
All right, guys, another great episode.
Yes.
Until next time. Bye.
That's a wrap for today. If you laughed, cried, or yelled, same.
Hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and DM us your FTK moment of the week for a chance to be featured on an upcoming episode.
FTK Moms Podcast.
Real moms,
Real stories.
all with real love.
ProPod Digital.